Welcome back, everybody, to the series. This is God of War. Whatever you guys want to call it, God of War 4, God of War the reboot, or just God of War. So today we're going to be tackling the second Valkyrie within Midgard, and her name is Kara. Now, with Kara comes her own personal movesets and own abilities. Today I'm going to be focusing on two portions of the video: her abilities and then the abilities that you would use to benefit you during battle. Now, to really give you guys what you guys need, I'm only going to be covering, like, within the first 4 videos, I'm going to cover only the Valkyries in Midgard, and following that, the different Valkyries in the different realms of Norse mythology. So, the reason I'm doing that is because as you go along, the Valkyries become increasingly difficult and have more complex movement and abilities. Now, you may notice in this video there's going to be a much larger improvement based upon from Kara, or from Guiderful to Kara. I feel that as I go along, I'll be able to give you guys more in-depth guidelines and advice, because I'm only getting better as I go along. So if you guys can bear with me, that'd be cool. That'd be straight, you know what I mean? Now, if you go in the room, you'll see several healing stones, chests filled with hack silver. If you go up the stairs before you actually jump into this little room here, I'm pretty sure there's a chest and also breakable objects to give you even smaller amounts of hack silver. But whatever the case may be, this is Kara. On the map, Kara should be placed not too far from Guiderful, and she's very near one of the fast travels, so she shouldn't be hard to navigate to as long as you track her, whatever you need to do to get there. I'm sure you're already here, so you know exactly what you want to see, so I'm not going to dwindle on that too much. So just to double down, this is where she's located. So, that being said, we can kind of discuss the preliminary movesets that she has before I show them on screen. Kara, now, she has 3 main aerial attacks and 2 main ground attacks. What I've noticed in certain Valkyries is that they tend to do certain things on certain runs, or not, depending on how fast you deal with them or how long you've been in the fight and how long you're persisting on trying to defeat this certain Valkyrie. So what I will say is, if I do somehow end up missing one of her attacks, even though I'm being very thorough with these videos, just be prepared for that, because at the end of the day, these characters are very difficult, very diverse, and that's how things are. Okay, so with that being said, let's hop right into her Entourage of Attacks. Okay, so Kara's first attack involves a aerial scythe swinging at you. Her second and third aerial attacks involve the yellow discs, as you guys may have seen in the previous video. If you have not, you might want to check that out in case you did Kara first. So yeah, she does a undodgeable single disc and a blockable, or I shouldn't say undodgeable, I should say unblockable single disc and a blockable barrage of discs. Now, of course, as you can see within this, she spawns in Draugr. So when it comes to my recommendations, we're first going to go based upon your abilities. So the first ability I would recommend for your axe is the Strike of Utgard, the second light runic attack you should be bringing along if you don't like the first, is the Fury of the Ice Troll. Now you want to do these things because there's going to be ads. Now you don't want to necessarily kill them, but you want to keep them off of you so that you can focus damage on the other. Now looking at heavy runic attacks, you're going to be doing Ivaldi's Anvil, and if you don't appreciate that, then you can also try the Frost Giant's Frenzy. Now I say this because these are also going to be high damage attacks to Kara, so you're going to want to try to utilize these, and they have different abilities depending on how high you've upgraded them, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, when looking at the Chaos Blades, light rune attacks, you can do the Nemean Crush, and if you don't really feel that one out, then you can also try the Cyclone of Chaos. Now, these attacks vary depending on damage and crowd control. Cyclone of Chaos usually does more crowd control, while the other does damage to Kara. Focusing on heavy runic attacks, you can use Hyperion Slam, and if you don't want to do that, you can use Tartarus Rage. So, because of these, focusing on the axe first. So, when you use either of these, you're going to want to be able to kind of keep some of the Draugr alive, because if you kill all the Draugr, she's going to spawn in 5 more, and it can be difficult for you to focus on her while also trying to defend yourself from the Draugr. So you need to constantly be moving, kind of getting in your 1-2 punches, however many you need to do. I, at this stage, would normally run, instead of a healing ability, I would run a, kind of time-stopping ability so I can get in there, really do some damage, and then reset. When focusing on the heavy runic attacks, you're going to want to be able to get in some stun and damage at the same time so you can maximize your damage. Now notice when you're using the Chaos Blades, and these are not the same attacks that I've recommended to you, so keep that in mind, like I've said before. You're going to want to be able to kind of keep them at a distance and also get as many of them kind of chipped down as possible. And then when you have Nemean, the Nemean attack, for example, that's going to do massive damage to the Valkyrie. It's just going to take a fat chunk, so you're going to want to handle with that. Lastly, personal preference for Atreus's Beast Animal abilities. Honestly, I would use the Wolves, as you just saw, but that is completely up to you guys. Instead of saying this one's the best for sure, they all have their own personal attributes, pros and cons, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to delve too much into that this time around. So in terms of strategy now, what I tried to do was, keep on my toes, keep moving around. What came in clutch a couple times was Atreus and the gear he was wearing. You're going to want to try and get gear where Atreus can give you healing stones when you get low by chance, or however long it may take. Keep your distance. When she's done doing her attacks, get in there, do what you got to do. You see, I'm also getting the Draugr while hitting her, and after chipping her down for a couple minutes, she's pretty easy. So that is my strategy and recommended weapons of use. Now when she comes out, she's gonna say da 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 da, I don't remember certain things, da da da, whatever. Moving on to the rewards that she drops when she comes down. So once you've defeated Kara, you're gonna collect her little head, and you need to make I mean, there's no way you defeat a Valkyrie and not collect the head, but focusing on it, you get Kara's helmet, of course. You will need that later on. Several healing stones get your health back up to maximum. You're gonna get, I think, 3 or 2 Asgardian Steel. Either way, you'll be fine. Moving on from that, another Asgardian Steel, more healing stones, as I've already said. I'm taking forever to pick up this last piece so I can tell you guys. This Talisman of the Realms. Now this one is very important because I, after getting it, decided to run it. And the reason is, and you'll see it in future Valkyrie videos, what happens is when you use this ability, time slows, and that really allows you to really get in close to the Valkyrie and get in as much damage as you can with your Runic and your actual damage, stun, whatever you gotta do. So keep that in mind. I know I said I wouldn't recommend it, where whatever you guys want to use is good for you, but that's what I would use, being that I got it at this point in time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support and love, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace!